How's it going, Mets and overall baseball fans? Welcome back to the channel. And folks, we have big updates on the Correa and Mets front and this 2-week-long saga of a negotiation. But before I get into it all I ask is that if you're new to the channel, don't hesitate to smash that like and subscribe button. Thank you guys all so much in advance as always. And of course, I have to let you all know that today's show is brought to you by BetOnline. BetOnline is your #1 source for all your sports betting needs. So make sure you head over to betonline.ag using promo code Bleav at BLEAV. That way you get yourself a 50% off welcome bonus. BetOnline, it's where the games begin. Now, folks, let's let the show begin because a lot of big reports, as you see here, from left to right. First, John Heyman of the New York Post yesterday initially came out with an article that was positive, saying that it looks like we're going to reach a conclusion in these negotiations soon. Then he reaffirms things in a later report yesterday with an update saying, at least one team, that being in the Minnesota Twins, are now in contact with Correa's camp for the first time over this 2-week-long negotiation between the Mets and Correa. Then you go to the right from Andy Martino of SNY that came out earlier today, which is another big one, stating the following: that yes, the Mets are apparently very frustrated with the Carlos Correa talks, and for the first time in the 2 weeks of negotiation with Correa, they are now willing to walk away if need be. It is not impossible for them to walk away at this point. So, raw reactions, I want to know yours in the comments below, but mine is simply this, and I think a lot of fans can agree, and just baseball followers overall, this is the leverage game. We've seen 2 weeks, and I praise Boris and Cohen how, wow, things are really hush-hush over this 2-week span and their negotiation. I'm surprised that not much has been leaked by the media. Good on Boris, good on Cohen. Well, that only lasted so long, and you really feel that the reason for this is because a deal or at least some type of resolution is imminent over the next day or two at this juncture. If I'm proven wrong, then okay, I've been proven wrong throughout this entire process because I did not expect it to expand over a 2-week-long standpoint since the initial report at 3 a.m. a $350 million deal over 12 years. This has really dragged on quite a bit, holidays aside, but this is a leverage game. We've seen Scott Boras do this endlessly. I praised him again for not doing it over this time, but now he's quickly done that from yesterday, saying that, the Twins are in contact. Let's not forget the Giants were in contact over these past 2 weeks too, but that didn't go far because according to the Giants, it seemed like the Mets and Correa are determined to get a deal done. And that's one thing that I really want to highlight in this as well. From all articles, from all new information that we have seen to this point at the time of recording this Friday, January 6th, all articles, whatever the top headline is, they still reaffirm by saying that yes, both sides have been in active negotiations and are adamant in getting a deal done. The likelihood of getting a deal done is far greater than it falling apart, according to John Heyman, Andy Martino, whoever it may be. But let's remember, Scott Boras is no slouch with this. He's done this for his entire career as an agent. Let's not forget the Brad and Nimmo sweepstakes, okay? There was a lot of things becoming leaked more last minute prior to the Nimmo bomb that he signs with the Mets. Even the Mets, when they came in the final hour and a half, you saw publicly reported that they were in on Correa. That was a leverage game used to make sure that the Giants put the hammer down and signed him to that $350 million deal, which ultimately fell out because of the ankle issue that the Mets currently have with Correa too. And now you see here, this feels like the exact same thing. Now teams are finally starting to be leaked out there in the public standpoint to help push Cohen and the Mets to get a deal done. But Cohen is no slouch this. He understood this. He dealt with this with the Scherzer negotiations last year too. And the Mets still got Scherzer. They still got Nimmo, and they're more than likely still going to get Correa. So now you see Cohen come out and state the following: that yeah, I get you're using the leverage game, but we're going to do the same now with the media. We're going to leak this out and say that we're very frustrated and we're willing to walk away if need be. And that's going to assumably bother Boras and Correa because no other team is going to give out the type of contract that Cohen is willing to give out on a guy that looks like he's damaged goods long term with that ankle injury. Not right now, but 5+ years from now, that ankle might be completely kaput for all we know. And that's why the Mets want specific type of information in that contract to make sure that they are protected if need be, if Correa has a long-term injury in the near future or long-term future of that assumed $12 million deal that, according to John Heyman, will stay at 12-year deal that will stay at 12 years, won't change much, which is completely contradictory to what Ken Rosenthal reported over the past week, saying that I don't believe that's going to be a contract anywhere near $315 million over 12 years with the Mets. And again, who knows who's going to be right in the end? All I know is that it looks like we're going to have a result found soon. But the biggest highlight from Andy Martino's report, guys, is that as soon as you click on the article, this is the contradictiveness. This is the leverage game coming into play. You say that the Mets are very frustrated. However, then he goes on to say, and the following: Correa to Mets is not dead. In fact, the source said that in the end, they still believe the sides stood a strong chance of reaching an agreement. But the deal was clearly at an inflection point, and for the first time, the team is seriously questioning on whether it wants to proceed or not. So again, you see here from Martino once more, from all sources that have been public out there in the little leaks so far, that they all believe that a deal is still going to get done, that Steve Cohen is not going to allow Correa to walk away. We know how good of a job he did selling Correa to us fans, even if there are fans out there that I know that don't want Correa, but there's a large contingency of fans that want to see it happening, including myself. We know that Correa takes his team over the top, and we know that for Correa's side, he doesn't have too much leverage here. If he wants to sign a short-term deal somewhere else, like go back to Minnesota, okay, but he's risking himself and his value big time if he gets hurt at all next season, in the next couple of years, whatever deal it may be. He's putting himself at further risk of not getting nearly the bag of what he was initially hoping for, from $350 million with the Giants to now $315 with the Mets. That's a $35 million pay cut in a one-year difference. That could drastically change even more if Correa is at all not healthy next season, if he would sign a short-term deal. So Boris Correa, they know the risks here of going short-term, and they know the risk of not getting a deal done with the Mets. That's why this is a leverage game. It feels like a lot of smoke, but not much fire. What is the fire is them in active negotiations and hoping to get a deal done or some type of resolution, good or bad, in the near future. And at this point, I'll be a little surprised, honestly, if we don't find out a result in the next day or so, because Steve Cohen is expected to make an appearance at Citi Field tomorrow as part of an awesome event. I'll actually be in attendance. I know many other Mets fans will too. Signups are currently closed. I apologize, guys, but I mentioned on my podcast earlier this week how at Citi Field this Saturday, they're going to be hosting an event where Steve Cohen, he wants to hear from all Mets fans possible, everyone that's been invited, to share their thoughts on what they want to build in the 50 acres of asphalt in the surrounding area of Citi Field. They're finally getting rid of, the junkyards and everything going on there. They want to build, whether it's going to be bars, whether it's going to be restaurants, casinos, hotels. They want to make it the best fan experience possible. That's going to be happening this Saturday. But why am I mentioning this now, especially when further people can't attend? It's simply because of the fact that Cohen is expected to be there. So is Cohen really going to attend this, possibly with the negotiations still ongoing? Are we going to find a result by then? Who knows? All I know is that there is a possibility that maybe I'll have to be live streaming from my phone at Citi Field tomorrow, and we find out news during that time. But guys, I want to know all your thoughts in the comments below. Make sure to let me know them as always. Also want to let you guys know that I will be live later tonight. As long as we don't find out a Correa result from now until 8:30 p.m. Eastern time today, I will be live breaking down all the nitty-gritty, further thoughts on the Correa front, answering your questions, all that fun stuff per usual, as we are currently in this big Correa watch. Let me know your raw thoughts down below. Like I said, I think this is a leverage game, no more, no less. Now let's just see what happens. And of course, Mets fans, if you found yourself enjoying this kind of Mets content and you want to see more great Mets content like this, don't hesitate from smashing that like and subscribe button. Thank you guys all so much in advance. As always, love you to death. I'll talk to you again real soon. Let's go Mets, baby. Peace out.